All right, here we are. We're gonna cut the trim for upstairs on an angle to meet the other trim. So most people think when you cut trim, you cut this way. That's not, in fact, the proper way when you're doing the top. So you wanna cut it the profile of how you wanna cut the trim. So I already have it on an angle at 45 where it meets halfway across the room. So we're gonna cut it on the same 45, meeting there, and then I gotta measure to the end. So I'm gonna do probably a little shorter piece. That way I can line up the corner and get it in cut, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, and as you can see, I held it up and I cut an angle on the 45. So I'm gonna go ahead and staple it with the nailer and move on to the next piece. All right, and put it up, you just need your normal finish nailer. You can use an air nailer or you can use a battery one. I have battery, but I prefer air for some. And then see the gap along the top? It'll vary. So that's what caulk will be, going the whole way down, unfortunately. Those are for uneven corners. Again, that's not me, that's the builder. But caulk is the only thing that fixes that. So you have to caulk once now and probably once when it gets cold again. But once you paint it after that, you're good to go for the lifetime, pretty much 30 years, I'd say. So not too much work, it's just a little inconvenient. All right, so for the next cut, you want an inside for the 45 to match up with the other one we cut. And then to do another corner piece, you're gonna want another inside cut. So I'm gonna have to take the miter saw, turn it the other way 45 degrees, and make the cut to do a inside cut. It's 55 1/4 on the measurement. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that cut now. Remember, hold it up to your backer, like so, to make those cuts. All right, as I said, 55 1/4. Change the saw angle, but remember, because it's the top, turn your saw, cut it upright on the back. All right. All right, as you can see, finished the last piece inside cut with the inside cut from the last video. So now, instead of doing that piece, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna do an inside cut and an outside cut. So I'm gonna show you how to do that as well. And then the last piece will be that center. All right, we're back. As you can see, cut an outside corner, open face like I showed you downstairs on the miter saw. And then when you come around, to hide the joint here, you cut it back. So we'll cut the other one open, and then we'll put our final piece in. All right, as you can see, we mounted the trim all the way to the end piece. So you're gonna wanna do 2 inside cuts to fit it. All right, took the measurement. It's 40 inches from left to right. Again, 2 inside cuts, 45. And if you have perfect walls, they should fit. If not, caulk is gonna help you out. But if it's too much caulk, we'll have to change the method, so stay tuned. And there you have it. Before I nail her, she's a tight fitter. All right, as you see, outside corner, cut, Dremel, and a little bit of caulk will fix that, because it's not exactly a 90-degree angle, but that's okay. All the way down. What I did do on this wall, I measured for the studs every 16 inches. There is a, this is the main wall for the water lines behind the house. Behind the house, down the center of the house. So I want to make sure I did not hit any water lines. So I'm going down. Now there is one little thing that I'm going to do on the end. I'm going to cut one piece of trim, and if you can see, I went to the end of a 90-degree angle with a piece of trim. So what I'm going to do is use a Dremel. I'm gonna route out the back of the trim in order to make it flush. So you can use a Dremel, or you can, technique they call a coping saw, to cut out the back end of it, and then it'll make it flush. All right, for the last cut, we're gonna go to 35 1/2. one 45-degree angle, and the other one we're gonna have to route out the back of it, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, as you can see, the cut's right on. Can't stress enough, measure twice, cut once. So I cut it a little long. You can see my mark. I can go back and I'll cut that off and it should fit exact. What I'll have to do is then route out the back with the Dremel, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so we cut that notch off, and now we're gonna take a Dremel. We're gonna mark it, so you kind of trace it with the trim there. You're gonna mark it, you're gonna cut that off or sand it down. And then on the back side, you need to take all that off with the Dremel. So we'll do that, and then we'll hold it back up for the final fit. All right, as you can see, almost there. Dremel, it's getting pretty tight. So pull it down, and as you can see, I'll show you the back of it. Now, you can use a coping saw to do this as well, but I find it easier to do a Dremel when you get a tighter fit. Okay, and there you have it. Tight fit for a not 90-degree wall. You slide that in over and then push it there. And I'm gonna go ahead and nail it and go back and caulk. And that's how you do trim on an uneven wall. Do a quick tour, show you the finished. Going around. We can slow down, show you the corners. Look good. We'll go back, we'll add caulk. And painting's not my job, that's the wife's. So, goal is 1 video a week. Like, subscribe. I'll show you how to do normal household renovations.